Alex Renshaw walked through the crowded corridors of the Celestara space station, feeling the familiar hum of activity that filled every corner of the massive structure. The station floated in the orbit of the gas giant Zorion, its surface reflecting shades of blue, green, and gold through the panoramic windows. Ships of all shapes and sizes moved like ants in a controlled chaos, docking and departing under the watchful eyes of the station's automated systems. Aliens of countless forms walked alongside humans, some towering over Alex, others so small they could fit in his palm if he bent down, but all moving with purpose, negotiating, talking, or simply observing. Alex was not here for sightseeing. As a diplomat for the Terran Federation, he had a job that often required walking a fine line between cultural diplomacy and crisis management. Today, however, he allowed himself a brief moment to enjoy the spectacle. He admired the way the station's central plaza was a blend of alien and human architecture, how the soft curves of Zorathian buildings mixed with the sharp, functional lines of Terran designs, creating a sense of harmony despite the diversity. As he moved along, Alex noticed her. She was standing near a large observation window, looking down at the swirling storms of Zorion below. Her posture was elegant, almost like she was part of the station itself, yet distinctly alive in a way that caught his attention. Lyra. He had seen her before at official meetings and formal events, but today she was not bound by protocol. Her legs, long and graceful, carried her across the polished floor with a fluidity that seemed natural and effortless. She was a Zorathian, a species known for their extraordinary agility and poise, but even among her kind, Lyra moved with a certain charm that seemed almost poetic. Alex paused for a moment, considering whether to approach. It was unusual for humans to comment on such things openly, but something in him, curiosity, perhaps, or genuine admiration, made him speak before he could think twice. "Your legs, they look incredible," he said, keeping his voice steady and respectful. The words hung in the air. Lyra froze mid-step and turned her head, her wide eyes locking onto his. There was a flicker of surprise there, almost as if she had never heard anything like that before. Alex's heart skipped a beat. Compliments in the station were not uncommon, but they were usually about accomplishments, technical achievements, or diplomatic success. Physical admiration, especially delivered by a human, was rare, and yet here he was, speaking the truth he felt. Lyra's lips curved into a faint smile, one that didn't seem rehearsed. "You notice details most overlook," she said softly. Her voice carried the subtle lilt of the Zorathian language, though she spoke fluently in Terran Common. There was something in her tone, an unspoken weight, an acknowledgement that made Alex suddenly aware of how much this encounter mattered. He swallowed, trying to steady himself. "I do notice. Not everything can be measured or analyzed," he replied. "Sometimes, beauty and elegance, they speak in ways that numbers never can." Lyra's eyes lingered on him for a moment longer, and then she moved closer, her steps silent against the smooth floor. "Terrans are different," she said, her voice thoughtful. "Your kind sees the world not just for its structure, but for its essence. You notice life where others only calculate it." Alex felt a mix of pride and curiosity. "That's kind of you to say. But I think it's just human nature. We look, we feel, we understand. It's not science, but it is real." Lyra tilted her head, considering his words. Then, with a small, almost imperceptible gesture, she motioned toward the window. "Come, look with me." Alex followed, stepping close enough to see the gas giant below in all its swirling majesty. The storms moved like rivers of color, immense and powerful, yet distant enough that they could only be admired. He had seen planets before, countless worlds across the Terran spaceways, but Zorion had a presence that was different. It was alive in a way that made him feel both insignificant and connected simultaneously. Lyra stood beside him, her presence calm and grounding. "It is easy to become lost in the machinery of the universe," she said, "but moments like this remind us why life is precious. Terrans, you understand that more than most." Alex felt a warmth in his chest, not from the physical heat of the station, but from the recognition in her words. Maybe we have to. Maybe that's what keeps us moving forward, keeps us exploring. She nodded, and then, after a pause, she said something that made Alex's heart skip a beat. I did not expect anyone to notice me like this, especially a human. You make me feel seen. The words were simple, but the meaning behind them struck Alex harder than any physical danger or political negotiation he had faced. Humans prided themselves on adaptability, ingenuity, and resilience. Yet this making another being feel truly recognized was something even they often overlooked. For a moment, the station, the crowd, and even the vastness of space beyond seemed to fade. It was just the two of them, connected by something neither fully understood yet. Alex realized that in the vast galaxy, where humans were often considered just one of many species, moments like these, moments of authentic connection, were rare. He managed a small smile. Then I'm glad I did. Lyra's eyes softened. She reached out briefly, not touching, but close enough that Alex could feel the warmth of her presence. You humans. You are remarkable, she said, in ways I cannot fully explain. Yet I sense them. You do not just act, you perceive. You care. You notice. That is rare in the cosmos. Alex chuckled softly. Well, maybe we just try harder. Or maybe we just have to survive by understanding each other. Empathy, attention. It keeps us alive in unexpected ways. She studied him for a long moment, then nodded. Perhaps that is why I am drawn to you. Not only because of what you see, but how you see it. Most beings, they look, but they do not perceive. Alex felt his pulse quicken. This was unlike any diplomatic conversation he had ever had. There were no formalities, no political masks, only a raw, honest exchange of observation and recognition. He realized that Lyra's species, with all their intelligence and sophistication, could feel what others could not, but they did not often encounter humans who could bridge that gap. The moment was interrupted by a soft chime from Alex's wrist communicator. He glanced down and saw the alert. A minor diplomatic briefing was scheduled in 10 minutes. He sighed, a little disappointed that the moment might be broken. But he knew his duty. Lyra seemed to sense his hesitation. Go. Your responsibilities call, she said, her tone not commanding but understanding. But remember, not all meetings are about words on a page. Some are about what you feel, what you perceive. Keep noticing. Human. It will take you far. Alex nodded, feeling a strange mixture of anticipation and reverence. I will, he said. And then, with a final glance at her, he turned and walked away, the echo of her words lingering in his mind. As he moved through the corridors toward the briefing room, Alex reflected on the encounter. It was not just the compliment, or even the surprise in Lyra's eyes, it was the recognition that humans, in their simple yet profound way, had the ability to connect across species in ways that technology, language, and even centuries of diplomacy could not. He entered the briefing room, greeted by the familiar faces of his team, and tried to focus on the technical discussions of trade agreements and station maintenance, but his mind kept drifting back to the observation deck, to Lyra's words, to the feeling of being understood and understood in return. Minutes turned into an hour, and yet every glance at the communication screens, every discussion about interstellar logistics, seemed to fade against the memory of her presence. Alex realized that perhaps this was why humans had survived, thrived, and explored the galaxy. Not only because of their intelligence or strength, but because of their ability to connect, to perceive, and to make others feel seen. When the briefing ended, Alex stepped out into the open promenade of the station, gazing at the endless expanse of space. Ships darted past, stars twinkled in the void, and the gas giant below swirled with storms of unimaginable power. Somewhere nearby, Lyra continued her observations, unaware of the profound effect she had on him. Alex took a deep breath and whispered to himself, humans. Maybe that's what makes us special. And somewhere, Not far away, Lyra smiled faintly, as if she understood exactly what he meant. The next morning, Alex returned to the Celestara space station with a quiet sense of anticipation. The encounter with Lyra the previous day had left him unsettled in the best way, curious, intrigued, and a little in awe. It was not often that a human diplomat felt truly noticed by someone from an alien species, especially someone as remarkable as a Zorathian. Their kind had a reputation for grace, intelligence, and elegance. And yet Lyra's presence carried something more, a rare sensitivity that seemed almost human in itself. Alex walked through the station corridors, greeting the familiar faces of humans and aliens alike. Some nodded in acknowledgement, others paused to exchange a few words about recent shipments or diplomatic news. The station buzzed with a quiet rhythm, like the pulse of a living organism. Yet Alex's mind kept drifting back to Lyra's words. She had said that humans could perceive in ways other species could not, that our attention and empathy were unique. He had never thought of himself as extraordinary. But her statement made him reconsider. As he moved toward the docking area, a soft chime sounded from his wrist communicator. The alert displayed a message from Lyra herself. "Meet me at Observation Deck 3. There is something I want to show you." Alex paused for a moment, stunned. It was unusual for an alien of her rank and reputation to send a personal invitation, especially outside official channels. His heart beat faster, but he forced himself to remain calm. With careful steps, he headed toward the observation deck, wondering what she wanted to reveal. When he arrived, Lyra was already there, standing at the edge of the platform and looking out at the swirling storms of Zorion below. She turned as he approached, her eyes bright and focused. "Thank you for coming," she said. There was no formality in her tone, no trace of protocol, just honesty. "What did you want to show me?" Alex asked, stepping beside her. Lyra gestured toward the planet below. "Look closely," she said. "Do you see the energy patterns?" Alex frowned slightly. At first, all he saw were the storms, massive and chaotic, moving across the gas giant's surface in endless loops. "I see the clouds. The storms," he replied. "No," Lyra said gently, "not the clouds. Look deeper. Look at the flows, the movements, the energy that carries life even here. Most beings cannot perceive it. But I think you can." Alex's curiosity deepened. He focused intently, trying to see beyond the visible layers. Slowly, he began to notice subtle shifts in the colors, small pulses and currents that moved like veins beneath the atmosphere. The energy seemed almost alive, interacting in ways he could feel rather than see. Lyra's voice was soft, almost a whisper. "I am able to sense energy, patterns, and potential in all beings. It is a gift of my species, though it is rare even among us. What surprises me is that you human can feel it too, even if only in part. You notice the essence, not just the form." Alex's mind raced. He had always trusted his instincts, relied on his intuition during negotiations or dangerous situations, but he had never thought of it as something unique to humans. I think it's just experience," he said slowly. "Humans have to adapt constantly. We survive in different worlds, with different rules, and we learn to read situations, people, life itself." Lyra turned to him, her expression serious. "It is more than adaptation. It is perception. Most beings measure, calculate, react. But you see, you understand in ways that are instinctive, yet profound. That is why your compliment yesterday about my legs affected me. You did not just notice the surface. You saw what I carried. My grace, my strength, my presence. You saw me as a whole." Alex blinked, realizing the depth of her words. It was more than admiration, it was recognition. In a galaxy filled with species who judged each other by status, power, or skill, humans could connect on a personal level. Seeing what others overlooked, it was a quiet, powerful gift. And it had consequences he was only beginning to understand. "Why me?" he asked, curiosity and humility mingling in his tone. Why do humans have this ability when others don't? Lyra smiled faintly, her gaze returning to the planet below. I do not know fully, but I sense something in your species, something rare. Humans are resilient, yes, but also aware, attentive, empathetic. You notice details, understand emotions, and connect with life itself. Other species may study or analyze, but you feel. Alex let the words sink in. He thought about the years humans had spent exploring space, negotiating with alien species, surviving impossible odds, and yet thriving. Perhaps it was not technology alone that allowed humans to succeed, but this instinctive perception and emotional intelligence. It was a kind of power that no laser, starship, or computer could replicate. Lyra's voice broke his thoughts. I want to show you more, she said. Come with me. She led him down a series of narrow corridors toward a secluded observation chamber. The room was small but designed to allow a perfect view of Xorion's upper atmosphere. Holographic displays flickered to life as they entered, showing streams of energy patterns, currents, and flows that most humans would not even notice. Watch, Lyra instructed. These are the life currents of the planet, the energy flows that sustain it. Every storm, every cyclone, every swirl carries potential. Only a few species can perceive it directly. You, however, can sense it instinctively. Alex stared in awe. He had studied planets and atmospheres before, analyzed data from sensors and probes. Yet nothing prepared him for this. He could feel the energy moving, like a heartbeat beneath the storms. Vast and immense yet delicate in its balance. It was as if the planet itself was alive, conscious, and aware of observers. How are you seeing this? He asked. Lyra stepped closer. It is not seeing in the way you think. It is feeling. It is awareness of connections. It is perception of potential and life. I have trained my species to do this. But you, humans, have the capacity naturally. You do not just analyze, you resonate. Alex felt a shiver of realization. Humans often relied on instinct in life or death situations, in diplomacy, in exploration. Perhaps this instinct was a reflection of a deeper ability, one that allowed them to survive where others might fail. It was a quiet strength, often unnoticed, yet immensely powerful. Lyra's expression softened. This is why I am intrigued by your kind. Humans are not the strongest, the fastest, or the most technologically advanced. Yet you endure. You thrive. And it is because of this gift, the ability to perceive, to understand, to connect. You notice what others miss, and that makes you extraordinary. Alex felt a surge of pride and humility at the same time. It was one thing to know humans were adaptable, clever, and brave. It was another to realize that those qualities were part of something almost spiritual, a resonance with life itself that even advanced alien species could not fully grasp. He turned to Lyra, meeting her gaze. So, when I complimented your legs yesterday, it wasn't just a casual remark? Lyra's lips curved into a small, amused smile. No, it was far more than that. You recognized my presence, my essence, my movement, and that is rare. Most beings do not see beyond the surface, but you do. You notice. That is why your words mattered. Alex felt a warmth in his chest. He had always believed in the value of kindness, of observation, of attention to detail. But hearing it articulated so clearly, especially from someone like Lyra, made him realize the true impact of human nature. It was not arrogance or vanity, it was perception, empathy, and the courage to acknowledge what others ignored. For a while, they stood together in silence, watching the swirling storms of Xorion, feeling the energy beneath the clouds. The connection was unspoken but undeniable, a mutual recognition of abilities, of perspective, and of understanding. Alex realized that humans, despite their flaws and limitations, possessed a unique kind of strength that could inspire, connect, and even change the course of interstellar interactions. Finally, Lyra spoke again. I would like to teach you more, Alex. Not just about my species' perception, but about understanding life, energy, and potential in ways your science cannot measure. If you accept, you could learn to perceive not just planets, but people, civilizations, and possibilities in a completely new way. Alex felt a thrill of excitement. This was more than a diplomatic opportunity. It was a chance to expand his understanding, to push the boundaries of human potential, and to explore aspects of the universe he had never imagined. I accept, he said without hesitation. Lyra nodded, her expression calm but approving. Good. Then let us begin. Humanity has much to offer the galaxy, Alex. You may not realize it yet, but your kind is extraordinary. And it is time you see why. As Alex followed her deeper into the observation chamber, he felt a renewed sense of purpose. Humans had survived, explored, and thrived, not just because of technology or strength, but because of their perception, their empathy, and their ability to connect across boundaries. For the first time, he truly understood the meaning of being human in a galaxy filled with wonders, dangers, and mysteries. And for Lyra, standing beside him, the recognition of human potential was more than admiration, it was hope. Hope that, together, humans and Zorathians, along with countless other species, could understand and respect each other in ways the galaxy had never seen before. The day after his lesson with Lyra, Alex awoke with a sense of anticipation he had not felt in years. The observation chamber, the swirling storms of Zorion, and Lyra's words had left a mark on him, reminding him that there was more to the galaxy than contracts, trade agreements, and political maneuvering. Humans were adaptable. Yes. Clever. Yes, but there was something more. Something that other species often overlooked. The ability to perceive, to connect, and to act in ways that were instinctive yet profound. As Alex made his way through the bustling corridors of Celestara Space Station, a low, urgent alarm echoed through the hallways. Red lights flashed along the walls, and automated announcements warned of incoming danger. Alex's communicator buzzed in his pocket, a message flashing urgently from Station Command. A rogue asteroid cluster was on an unpredictable trajectory toward the station, threatening collision. Panic was already visible among some of the alien delegates and traders. Zorathians hurried to secure equipment, smaller species scurried for shelter, and some humans looked to the AI systems controlling station defenses for instructions. Alex, however, felt a surge of determination rather than fear. He moved quickly to the command center, where he joined the head of station security, Commander Lyra Voss. The AI has calculated multiple trajectories, Lyra said, pointing at the large holo-screen displaying the cluster's approach. But the data is inconsistent. The rocks are too erratic. If we rely solely on the system, we could miscalculate and take a direct hit. Alex studied the display, his mind working fast. Years of experience had taught him to trust both data and intuition. And right now, intuition screamed that there was a better solution. We need a human approach, he said. The AI can calculate, but it cannot predict how the cluster will behave under unusual gravitational shifts. We can, if we act together. Lyra raised an eyebrow. A human approach? What do you mean? Alex pointed at the projections. We will divide the cluster into sections, assigning ships to deflect each portion based on real-time observation and instinct. We adjust as we go, rather than following a pre-programmed plan. We'll rely on perception, improvisation, and coordination, not just calculation. Some of the alien delegates whispered among themselves, skeptical of the Terran idea, but Alex ignored them. Trust me, he said calmly. We can do this. Lyra appeared beside him quietly, her expression unreadable. Humans often rely on intuition and perception, she said softly. It is why I am drawn to your kind. You see patterns others cannot. Do not underestimate your instincts. Alex nodded, feeling a strange confidence in her presence. Then let's move. Within minutes, Terran and Allied ships moved into formation around the outer perimeter of the station. Alex coordinated via communicator, giving clear instructions, adjusting positions based on subtle shifts in the cluster. The asteroids were irregular, tumbling unpredictably, but Alex noticed patterns, minute rotations, slight energy shifts, the gravitational pull of Zorion itself affecting trajectories. His human perception allowed him to anticipate movements that the AI had not accounted for. Lyra monitored from the observation deck, her eyes reflecting both admiration and concern. "You are extraordinary," she murmured. "Your kind acts with understanding and instinct, not just numbers. That is why humans endure where others falter." As the first asteroids approached the station, Alex's nerves sharpened. One massive rock, larger than a shuttle, drifted dangerously close to the outer hull. The automated defenses hesitated, unable to compute the correct trajectory quickly enough. Alex made a split-second decision, directing a Terran interceptor to push it off course. The maneuver succeeded, sending the asteroid on a safe path past the station. A collective sigh of relief echoed across the comm channels. But there was no time to celebrate. More asteroids followed, each more erratic than the last. The AI attempted to recalibrate, but Alex's instincts and observations guided the fleet far more effectively than the calculated predictions. He noticed slight energy pulses in the rocks, subtle deviations caused by Zorion's gravity, and relayed corrections that saved several ships from collision. Lyra leaned forward, her hands resting lightly on the observation console. "You do not just survive," she said quietly. "You adapt in ways that others cannot even perceive. Humans are more than clever. They are alive to possibilities others miss." Alex's focus never wavered. He coordinated movements with precision, guiding ships in improvisational patterns, redirecting energy beams, and predicting asteroid spins in real time. The alien delegates, initially doubtful, watched in awe as the Terran-led fleet maneuvered flawlessly, avoiding disaster while keeping the station intact. Hours passed, though it felt like minutes. Sweat dripped down Alex's brow, but his mind was clear. He realized something profound. Human adaptability, perception, and courage were not just survival traits. They were tools for extraordinary achievement. The galaxy had underestimated humans for centuries, relying on data, algorithms, and rigid systems. While humans thrived in unpredictability, using intuition and connection to succeed where logic alone would fail. Finally, the last of the rogue asteroids passed by the station. Their paths diverted safely into space. The alarms ceased, and the red lights faded, replaced by the soft glow of normal station illumination. A cheer erupted from the command center, the alien delegates and Terran crew alike expressing relief and gratitude. Lyra stepped forward, her eyes shining. "Alex Renshaw, you have demonstrated something remarkable. Not just bravery, not just leadership, but the unique human ability to perceive, connect, and act decisively in ways others cannot. You and your species are extraordinary." Alex felt a mixture of exhaustion and pride. He had faced countless challenges in his career, but this coordinating survival through instinct and perception was unlike anything he had ever done. It was a testament to the very essence of humanity. Observation, intuition, empathy, and courage combined in ways that no AI or alien system could replicate. He turned to the gathered aliens, speaking calmly but firmly. "It wasn't just me," he said. "It was all of us humans, Zorathians, and others working together. But yes, humans have something special. We notice what others miss. We act when others hesitate. We survive, adapt, and connect, even in the chaos of the universe." A murmur of acknowledgement passed through the crowd. Some nodded thoughtfully. Others whispered among themselves, clearly reconsidering their preconceptions about humans. Lyra smiled at Alex, her admiration clear. "And now, you understand why I believe your species has a role to play beyond survival. You can inspire, guide, and even teach others if they are willing to see the value of perception and connection." Alex nodded, his mind racing with possibilities. Humans had traveled the stars, built civilizations on distant planets, and survived in ways that many species could not comprehend. But this was a deeper understanding. It was the realization that their greatest strength was not technology, politics, or raw power. It was their capacity to perceive, to connect, and to act decisively with empathy and insight. As the celebration quieted and the station returned to normal operations, Alex found a quiet moment to speak with Lyra privately. "You really believe humans are that special?" he asked, his voice low but serious. Lyra's eyes met his, unwavering. "Yes, you do not even realize the full extent of your abilities. Other species may rely on systems, calculations, or raw strength. Humans rely on perception, understanding, and intuition. That is rare and powerful. That is why I am drawn to your kind." Alex smiled, a mixture of humility and pride filling him. "Then I guess it's time we show the galaxy what humans can really do, not just survive, but thrive, adapt, and lead in ways others cannot even imagine." Lyra nodded, a sense of hope and excitement in her expression. "And I will help you. Together, we can teach perception, understanding, and connection. We can change the way the galaxy sees humans, and the way humans see themselves." Alex took a deep breath, feeling the weight of responsibility and the thrill of possibility. Humanity had always been underestimated. But now, with allies like Lyra and the realization of their own unique abilities, they could rise to challenges that no one had thought possible. The rogue asteroid cluster had been a test. A small demonstration of what humans could achieve when they trusted their instincts, perception, and courage. And as he looked out at the endless expanse of stars beyond the station's windows, Alex understood that this was only the beginning. Humans were not just explorers, they were connectors, perceivers, and catalysts. In a galaxy of logic, calculation, and advanced technology, humans had something no one else possessed: the power to notice, understand, and act in ways that resonated across civilizations. Lyra stood beside him, silent but present, her gaze following his. "You are extraordinary, Alex," she said softly, "and so is your species. Remember this. Never doubt what humans are capable of." Alex smiled, feeling a quiet certainty he had never known before. "I won't," he said. "And I'll make sure the galaxy knows it too." The station buzzed with renewed energy, the crew and delegates inspired by the success of the human-led initiative. And somewhere deep inside, Alex felt a connection not just with Lyra, but with humanity itself, a connection that would guide him, and perhaps all humans, into the vast, unpredictable, and extraordinary future of the stars. After the asteroid crisis, the Celestara space station returned to its usual rhythm. But for Alex Renshaw, nothing felt the same. The events of the past days had changed him, making him more aware of the subtle power humans held. A power rooted not in weapons or technology, but in perception, empathy, and quick, creative thinking. The galaxy had underestimated humanity for centuries, but now, he could feel their potential in every decision, every observation, every moment of instinctual understanding. Lyra approached him quietly in the central promenade, her long, elegant form moving with the grace that had first caught his attention. "Commander Renshaw," she said, her voice calm but serious, "you have proven something remarkable. Not just to me, but to the station, to the other species, and perhaps to yourself." Alex turned to her, curiosity and determination reflected in his eyes. "What do you mean?" Lyra gestured toward the observation windows, where Zorion's storms danced in an endless symphony of motion and color. "The galaxy watches. Other species, even the most advanced, see humans as fragile, unpredictable, and limited. But what you demonstrated, the ability to perceive, act decisively, and inspire cooperation, is something no algorithm, no intelligence matrix, can replicate. Humanity has power others cannot imagine, and now, many are beginning to notice. Alex felt a mixture of pride and humility. It's not just me. It's all humans. We've survived impossible odds, explored worlds no one thought possible, and adapted to every challenge. But I didn't realize. Maybe we have a unique gift. Something that sets us apart. Lyra smiled, the kind of smile that carried approval and admiration at the same time. Yes. It is not just resilience or courage. Humans notice what others overlook. You perceive potential, connection, and life in ways that other species cannot. That is why you thrived. That is why you matter. The next day, the Interstellar Council convened in the station's central chamber. Delegates from dozens of worlds gathered to discuss the recent events and the success of the human-led response to the asteroid cluster. Normally, humans received polite recognition at best, often dismissed as secondary players in alien politics. Today, however, the atmosphere was different. The council waited, anticipating Alex's words, curious about the species they had underestimated. Alex stepped forward, his posture calm but confident. He looked across the room, at beings of all shapes and sizes, many of whom had doubted humans' capabilities. Esteemed delegates, he began, his voice steady. The asteroid cluster tested all of us. It was unpredictable, dangerous, and unprecedented. But together, we found a way to protect the station, the ships, and the people aboard. And in that process, something became clear. Humans are not merely survivors. We perceive, adapt, and act in ways that bring out the best in everyone around us. The room was silent, the delegates listening intently. Alex continued. Our species has faced countless challenges, harsh planets, political instability, cosmic dangers, and we have survived. Not because we are the strongest or the fastest, but because we notice what others miss. We connect, understand, and act decisively when it matters most. That is our gift. And it is what allows us to thrive where others may falter. Lyra watched from the side, her eyes reflecting pride. She had been right. Humans had abilities that no one else could replicate. And Alex was demonstrating it with clarity and humility. The delegates exchanged glances, many appearing surprised, perhaps reconsidering their long-held assumptions about humanity. As Alex spoke, he realized something else. Humans' greatest strength was their ability to inspire cooperation. By acting decisively and perceptively, they encouraged others to trust, to contribute, and to excel. The asteroid crisis had been a demonstration not just of survival, but of leadership and connection. After his address, the council opened for discussion. Delegates from several species, previously skeptical, spoke with newfound respect. They praised the Terran response, acknowledging that the human approach had saved countless lives and prevented catastrophic damage. Your species has potential beyond what we imagined, one Zorathian delegate said. Perhaps it is time we take note of humans not as secondary participants, but as true contributors to interstellar cooperation. Alex nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility and possibility. It is not about recognition, he said. It is about understanding that every species has something to offer. Humans notice, perceive, and connect. That is our strength. And if we work together, combining what each of us does best, the galaxy can achieve far more than any one species alone. After the council meeting, Alex returned to the observation deck with Lyra. The gas giant below shimmered in shades of blue, green, and gold, the storms moving in endless, hypnotic patterns. The events of the past days felt both distant and immediate. He had survived. He had led. And he had learned something profound about humanity. Lyra spoke quietly, almost reverently. You understand now, don't you? Humans are not ordinary. You have perception, courage, and empathy in ways the galaxy has not fully appreciated. That is why I have observed your kind for so long. You inspire. Alex turned to her, his gaze steady. I understand now. Humans are more than survivors. More than explorers. We notice, we connect, and we act. And if we trust ourselves and each other, we can achieve things no one thought possible. Lyra's eyes shone. Then you see the truth of it. And perhaps, in time, others will see it too. Humans have the power to change the galaxy not with weapons, not with machines, but with perception, courage, and connection. The days that followed were filled with new opportunities. Humans aboard the station were invited to share their methods of observation, decision-making, and coordination with other species. Workshops and demonstrations showcased how intuition and empathy, combined with knowledge and training, could achieve results that logic or technology alone could not. Alex worked closely with Lyra, teaching others how to notice subtle details, perceive patterns in chaotic situations, and connect with beings of other species in ways that encouraged cooperation and understanding. They demonstrated how humans' instinctive abilities could be amplified when paired with the unique gifts of other species: Zorathian perception, mechanical precision, and strategic intelligence. As the weeks passed, the reputation of humans aboard the station grew. Aliens who had once doubted them now sought their counsel, eager to learn from a species that seemed to perceive and act in ways others could not. Alex realized that humanity's gift was not just survival, it was inspiration. By noticing what others overlooked, humans encouraged cooperation, understanding, and growth. One evening, after a long day of demonstrations and discussions, Alex found himself back at the observation deck with Lyra. The gas giant below shimmered as the sun's light reflected off its swirling storms, painting the clouds in colors that seemed almost alive. "You have changed the perception of humans here," Lyra said softly, her gaze following the movement of the storms. "Not just with words, but with action. You demonstrated what your species is capable of. You reminded the galaxy that humans are extraordinary." Alex smiled. "I think we've all learned something. Not just about humans, but about connection, perception, and trust. It isn't technology or strength alone that matters, it's understanding, noticing, and acting when it counts." Lyra's expression softened, a hint of admiration in her eyes. "And now, humans will continue to inspire. They will show that strength is not always physical, and leadership is not always about authority. Sometimes, the greatest power is in perception and empathy." Alex looked out at the vastness of space, the stars twinkling like distant fires. He felt a deep sense of purpose and responsibility. Humanity had survived, explored, and now had the opportunity to influence the galaxy in ways that were unique and profound. "We have a lot to teach," he said quietly, "and a lot to learn. But I think this is just the beginning." Lyra nodded. "It is, and together, humans and Zorathians, along with countless other species, can make the galaxy a place where perception, courage, and connection matter more than fear, misunderstanding, or prejudice. You have the potential to lead in ways the universe has never seen." Alex took a deep breath, feeling the weight and excitement of the future. Humans had always adapted, survived, and thrived. Now, they had a chance to inspire, guide, and transform. The galaxy had underestimated them for too long. The storms of Zorion below seemed to echo that truth, moving unpredictably yet beautifully, much like the humans themselves. As the sun set behind the gas giant, casting a golden glow across the observation deck, Alex realized something profound. Humanity's greatest strength had never been machines, weapons, or numbers. It had always been perception, empathy, and the courage to act in ways that others could not even imagine. Lyra stepped closer, her presence calm but powerful. "You see now, Alex. Humans are special, and the universe will see it too." Alex nodded, a quiet smile on his face. "Yes, and we will make sure they do." The station buzzed below, alive with activity, cooperation, and renewed hope. Humans had proven themselves not just capable of survival, but capable of inspiring greatness in others. And as Alex stood beside Lyra, watching the infinite expanse of stars, he knew that humanity's journey was only beginning. A journey that would shape the galaxy in ways that no one had yet imagined. The storms of Zorion swirled beneath them, immense and powerful, yet filled with beauty and life. And just like those storms, humanity's presence in the galaxy was becoming impossible to ignore. Vibrant, resilient, and extraordinary.